There are wounds that the world can give you, and then there are wounds that come from the place that was supposed to protect you. The pain hits differently when it's your own parents, the people who gave you life, the people you trusted, the people you expected to love you without condition. This video is not meant to create fear, but to bring awareness, clarity, and most importantly, hope. There are practices happening quietly behind closed doors, hidden under culture, secrecy, and silence. The practice by some evil parents sacrificing one or more of their children spiritually for personal gain through the help of a witchcraft doctor. In those rare but real cases, a child becomes the cost, not physically always, but spiritually. The parents, driven by greed and selfishness, goes to a witchcraft practitioner to figure out which of their child or children have a bright star, a great destiny, and a bright future. Once the witchcraft practitioner reveals this, the parents will demand for a destiny swap, which involves transferring their child's or children's destiny spiritually from the child to the parents. And once that child is identified, they are spiritually targeted, not out of hatred, but out of greed. Let's be honest, this is hard to understand. Why would a parent harm their own child this way? The answer is painful but simple: selfishness and fear. Some evil parents are so desperate for long life, success, wealth, comfort, and protection that they are willing to sacrifice their child's future to secure their own. And the easiest target, a child, their own child, a child who cannot fight back, a child who does not understand, a child who trusts their parents completely. What happens next is not always visible, but it is deeply felt. Once the child with the brightest future is identified, the parents transfer the good luck of this child over to themselves spiritually, using the help of a witchcraft practitioner, leaving this child spiritually empty. Following this destiny theft, the child who was meant to thrive begins to struggle with constant sickness, unexplainable bad luck, academic struggles, broken relationships, delayed or failed marriage, emotional heaviness, repeated disappointment. It's like life never flows, like something is always blocking them. Meanwhile, the parents may begin to flourish and experience better health, breakthroughs in their finances, comfort and ease, and long life. And the painful truth: the child whose destiny was stolen by their own parents starts to experience roadblocks and setbacks, including hatred and being isolated by their own parents. One may believe that these evil parents that stole their child's destiny spiritually, which in turn gave them good fortune, will show kindness to this child. But no, they treat this child different compared to their other children. These children get called never-do-wells. They are evil parents that stole their destiny, which eventually left this child spiritually empty. Knows exactly why the child is experiencing roadblocks. But instead of helping and supporting this child, they pretend not to see. They may even call the child a failure, compare them to their siblings, speak negatively over this child's life, deepening the wound of this child. Imagine growing up feeling like you don't belong in your own family. Your parents turn your siblings against you. Your presence irritates your own parents. You question if your parents are genuinely your parents or if they adopted you. Growing up, your parents may have dumped you with your grandparents because they can't stand you, and your absence seems to give your parents peace. You watch how your parents treat you compared to how they treat your siblings, and you notice a great difference. You watched your siblings succeed while you struggle endlessly. You watched your siblings go to school while your parents told you you are not allowed to go to school because you are a never-do-well. You watch your parents take your siblings to the hospital when they get sick, but when you get sick, your parents either ignore you or take you to a spiritualist for a divination. You are trying harder than everyone else, but getting nowhere. You get asked by your neighbors, are those people you are living with your real parents? Because even your neighbors can feel your pain. Your parents will make you stay inside when you have visitors, almost like they are hiding you. But your siblings get showed off and move freely. You constantly question yourself. Why is everything so difficult for me? Why does nothing work out? Why do I feel cursed? Why does my parents treat me different compared to my other siblings? Some people carry this pain into adulthood. Some fall into depression, lose hope, and even consider ending it all. But hear this clearly: your struggle does not define your worth, and your story is not over. God is not silent about these things. The Bible strongly condemns witchcraft, child sacrifice, and any form of exploiting children. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 10 to 12 says, "Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter, who practices divination or sorcery. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord." God calls it what it is: detestable, not acceptable, not excusable, detestable. Leviticus chapter 20 verses 2 to 3 reminds us, "Any Israelite who sacrifices any of their children is to be put to death. For by sacrificing their children, they have defiled my sanctuary and profaned my holy name." God takes this seriously because children are not tools, they are not sacrifices, they are gifts. 2 Kings chapter 21 verse 6 says, He sacrificed his own son in the fire, practiced divination, and sought omens. He did much evil in the eyes of the Lord, arousing his anger. The Bible does not hide these realities. It exposes them and condemns them. Here is what matters most. Even if something was done against you, even if your destiny was tampered with, God is greater than any dark force. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is beyond his power to restore. What was stolen can be returned. What was blocked can be opened. What was broken can be healed. Because God is not just a judge, he is a restorer. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Some people notice patterns like repeated failure despite effort, strange or disturbing dreams, feeling spiritually drained, constant rejection or delay, a sense that something is off. If this resonates with you, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Take it seriously and take it to God. Freedom is possible, but it requires intentional steps. Seek God deeply through prayer. Speak life over yourself. Reject every negative word spoken against you by your evil parents. Call back your power to spiritually restore every destiny stolen from you. Surround yourself with truth and support. Seek wise spiritual guidance if needed. Darkness thrives in silence, but it cannot survive in truth. You are not powerless. In some cases, you may need to continue to show love to your parents, but from a distance. This is where healing begins. You are not the failure they called you, the disappointment they labeled you, or the unlucky one. You are still chosen, loved, created with purpose. Even if your own parents failed you, God never will. If this video touched something deep inside you, if you've been silently struggling, if you've been asking why me, hear this. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you are not finished. What was meant to destroy you will not have the final say. God sees everything. God knows everything, and God restores. Hold on. Your breakthrough is not as far as it feels, and your life still has purpose. May God heal every hidden wound, restore every stolen peace, and lead you into the life you were always meant to live. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.